So you're like, Aaron, what the hell is a warm-up drill? Why do I need to warm up? It's just calligraphy. You're sitting down. I'm not running a marathon. Warming up is silly. Warming up is not silly. I'm telling you here. I'm telling you now. Again, if you're hearing an ad, I'm too cheap to pay for Spotify Premium. Although maybe if I do this one on like every Thursday, I probably should, to leave the music on without having French ads pop into your ears. But yeah, anyways, so these are some just templates that I made myself to help myself. So when I'm talking about having a warm up for your hand and for your lettering, usually if you don't warm up a little bit, your hand's going to be shaky. It's going to be tight. It's not going to be super fun for you to work, and your lines will be shaky until you start working. And then if you work like from the top of the page down to the page, you're going to see that there's going to be a big difference between how tight your letter and how tight your warm-ups are from the top to the bottom. So instead of doing that on like your work, let's say, I like to try and do it a little bit more on like a random piece of paper. So I'll do it with a pencil first so you can see what I mean. So like I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, when you're working with copper plate specifically, it's a lot about the contrast between the hairlines, the thin lines, and the downstrokes, like the thick lines. That's kind of where a lot of the beauty of it comes from, is having that contrast. So you have to get used to making your hand do that, because it's not something that's instinctual unless you've done calligraphy before. I'm also going to put my... there it is. So something that also beginners don't tend to be told a lot from everyone is having a guard sheet. So when I say a guard sheet, you're like, what is this? I've never heard of this term before. Essentially, when you're writing on a paper over and over again, there are oils on your hand that you're going to be like wiping on the paper. If you're working with ink, that will make the ink not adhere to the paper properly, if that makes sense. So I don't like guard sheets, because there have been more than one time where I've knocked the guard sheet, because normally what it is, you just have a paper here and like you're working and you keep your hand on this one and it protects this guy. More than once I've knocked this and I've ruined whatever I've been doing. So I, quote, invested the whole $10 for these very professional looking finger gloves on Amazon, and they're black. So if I get ink on them, no one cares, no one sees, it's fine. And then I can slide over, because these are meant more for like if you're doing art on a tablet, let's say, so your hand can smoothly go over the glass of whatever tablet you're using for lettering or for drawing or whatever. But I'm like, this works perfectly fine for my purposes as well. It was about $10 from Amazon. And now I don't have to worry about my hand knocking a paper into my wet ink. Learn from me. Learn from my mistakes. So let's start a little bit with some warm-up drills to warm up our hand, to warm up our wrist a little bit, and warm up our pressure on the paper.